Alrighty guys, welcome back to the CC Card Gaming channel. Today we have John here. Tell us what you did over the weekend.
Well guys, I won another regional on the weekend here in OCE, so yeah, obviously I'm happy that I keep on winning these events. It's very awesome to be able to, keep on performing at a consistent and high level too. Yeah, a bunch of fun on the weekend. We did a day trip to Sydney for the tournament, which was very tiring in the long run, but overall, obviously, it was worth it, had a great time, got to see all our friends and competitors over there too, so it's always good.
Congrats. Yeah. Tell us what you played, alrighty.
Well, it's no surprise, I played Son Goku Universe 7. I think this is still one of the best decks in the game after the ban list, and I also think you got heaps of new cards to, facilitate it. So this is kind of more of like a reworked version of my Nationals list. After the ban list, obviously, we have to change a bunch of stuff. I always say, I love the leaders that when you combo you get the draw cards, and the Goku leader is no exception to that. And the fact that this leader builds heaps of Z energy is phenomenal. So yeah.
Yep, beautiful,
And the two reasons to play this deck besides leader are the two SRs for the deck, the 4-drop and the 6-drop. Both these cards are just insane. Both of them do different things. The 4-drop slowly chips away at your opponent's hand, as well as allowing you... It's a cantrip as well in deck. 1 energy, draw a card, tap something, and then combine with the leader, it's hand destruction too. The fact that this taps barrier cards, insane. Yellows always struggle to clear barrier, but this leader gets around that. 6-drop Goku as well. This card single-handedly wins you games, and I built this deck kind of trying to amplify the power of this card. The fact that this card, at any given point in the game, if you're having a rough game or whatever, not only for one, it kills something ignoring barrier, but the fact that it can swing an indefinite amount of times in a single turn is just huge. This card has, the way I won on the weekend, shout out to, I believe it was Nick, SS4 player. The way I won, he was pressuring me pretty hard the entire game, and the way I was able to win, I was able to burn him for 3 life by swinging into one of his battle cards he had left. And the card's just this is the reason why you play Son Goku Universe 7. It's arguably the best card in the game right now. 1 energy does too much,
Yes, sir.
And then some other U7 cards, 4 of the red Goku, and 3 Vegeta. Red hair Goku can play from the Z energy KO or something. The spot removal was huge. Vegeta, 1 energy dual attacker or power of the Super Saiyan for free. Both of these are U7 tags. Combo, draw a card. Goku acts as a deadly defender. I don't play the blue hair Goku. A lot of people do like to play that card. I personally, every time I've tried it, the only card in the game I ever want to play it against is Majin Buu Unison, and I don't think that's worth the spot in the main.
Yeah, for sure.
Then for the next bunch cards, we have the cantrips of the deck. I've got all these cards just are the combo draw a card, U7 shenanigans, as well as the Piccolo Gohan cantrips. 18, the pitch 1 from hand and combo 2, 7 from drop, and then 17. I'm actually thinking, most likely, I do have the 1 Roshi Negate, but most likely I'll be changing this Roshi Negate to another 17. I think the Crusher Ball ability is actually huge, especially with SS4 Vegeta going around. That being said, I actually do really like Roshi as just a 1-of Negate. Just sometimes having a Negate on standby that you don't have to sparking for, whatever, feels very nice, especially the early turns. I don't know, it's it depends on the mood I'm in, kind of, for this Roshi. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels bad. But I think you need at least 15 of these combo cards. This is like the heart and soul of the deck, what keeps it breathing.
For sure. And 18 is pretty good as well. Now you can defend Z Unisons with them as well. So.
Yeah, 18. The fact that 18 works when your opponent swings in the Unison, they're trying to get that free combo step off of you. The fact that 18 bypasses that as well as generating you. Of course, you lose this from your Z energy, but then it generates you 2 Z energy in return. It's just too good.
And a draw from leader.
And nice. Draw from leader, yeah. Super combo of choice, backbone of U7.
Yep.
There's no reason to play any other super combo in this deck now, especially with the hit to bursting rage. How it doesn't let you work with the Spirit Bomb Z leader. Because I know some people are arguing, you just play the
Krillin? You can play Wings as well?
The Wings, playing Wings because you get 2 Z energy, but this has just too much energy in the deck, so I think there's no reason you would not run this card.
Yep.
Then for our battle, some more battle cards we've got kind of like the main utility. We've got 1 Secret ID as our overall, 1 Duo, and then 4 Majin Vegeta. I wouldn't change any of this. You can maybe change the overall, but Duo is way too good. If Duo wasn't limited to 1, you'd be playing it at 3 or 4 or 100%. Majin Vegeta, again, is also really good. To me, the Majin Vegeta and the Goku SR are additional cantrips in the deck. Sometimes you just need to play a card and draw a card. There's actually a lot of times where on turn 2, I'll just play this Vegeta to draw a card, and if I know my opponent can't clear it on their turn, I'll just simply leave it in active mode and pass. But the fact this also acts, again, this deck struggles to clear unisons, and the fact that this swings for 25k double strike into a unison, as well as KOing a small body on the board, 5 or less, which actually hits a lot of things. Yeah, very impactful. I know some people like to run this at 3. I don't think you can go any lower than 4. I think it's way too good. Yeah. And as well in this deck, for 1 energy and how the leader works, this card is essentially swinging for 1 energy, 35k double strike.
Yes, sir.
Next batch of battle cards, we have some new cards for the deck, and then Sin. This is a promo package, you know. So we've got 2 Baby, 2 Vegeta, and 2 Sin promo. Everyone knows what the Sin promo does. What this red Vegeta does is that if your leader is a universe leader, you can play it for 3. And then it has dual attack, and on play and on swing, you neg something 20,000 power. This card, I will move it to the sideboard because as 3 energy is a bit expensive, even though you do essentially get to clear either 3 small bodies or a big body and a small body. But the main purpose of this card is to help you out the Gogeta matchup. I think this card is great into Gogeta.
Shout out to Jun.
Shout out to Jun. The Rule MVP of the weekend, this Baby Great Ape, such an amazing card. You can play it when you're on 3 energy, you play it for 2. It's got inbuilt double strike. Then you choose 2 of your opponent's cards and just blank their skills. That's just insane. And the biggest part about it as well, the skill negation lasts until the end of your opponent's turn, and if that wasn't enough, your opponent cannot attack with skillless battle cards until the end of their next turn. So basically, even if for whatever reason the 2 cards you blank you cannot remove, your opponent can't attack with them. So this card is over the top. I'll most likely be moving these to the side and moving. I do have a 3rd Baby in my side. I'll most likely be mainboarding out, but like the fact that this card is essentially Doro that hits 2 things and it doesn't care if they're in active mode or rest mode. Granted, it doesn't kill the cards, but most likely you can use other ways to KO the cards in this deck.
Nice.
Lastly, the other new card MVP. This is the defensive package we've got here. I've got 2 Time Magic and 4 of Philip Tarpini's card.
Tarpini, yeah.
I remember I was lucky enough to meet Tarpini at Worlds and have a chance to chat with him. And he showed me this card because I simply just asked him, where's your card, man? That kind of thing. Because it's been like ages since like the World Championship, right? And then he showed me this card, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. This card is so broken. It's a floodgate that's way better than Riposte. It doesn't, when you negate the attack, it doesn't stop the attack outright. But then when it gets played, you got this auto ability where if your opponent wants to attack with any card for the rest of the turn, they have to choose one of their cards in rest mode and place in the drop area. This just ends so many turns. You can, if your opponent swings with their leader first, you can just negate with this. And then your opponent is in a very difficult situation when they have to start sacking energy if they're an aggressive deck. Yep. Majority of the time, people will just pass their turn off the back of this. And honestly, too, the fact that this allows you to get to your combo step is quite huge because your leader wants to be naturally comboing cards. So this card, honestly, shout out to Nick again. We played in the finals. If I didn't have this Bardock, I probably would have lost that game against him. Just being able to floodgate him back-to-back turns, it buys you enough time to get to your late game.
Yeah, I think people weren't expecting it as well, actually.
I'm honestly surprised because, I know a lot of people were kind of 50-50 about buying this set, or not 100% sure. But I think majority of this is in this set, especially the black ones, are just over the top.
Yeah.
My last 3 cards for the deck, we've got Absolute Annihilation, Son Goku, Cooler Counter being banned. You need a replacement. This is the best replacement. And the cool thing that this does, that Cooler does not, it generates actually more instant win scenarios against a lot of decks. Like, if your opponent's tapped out, they don't have the option to resolve their cards, such as, a perfect example of this card checks is Bursting Rage. The fact that Bursting Rage, if your opponent's, it costs 1 when this is on board, is huge. Again, kind of similar concept, Hunt for the Demon God, Counter again. We want our opponents to be tapped out, which we can do with the next card, the Seeker of Choice. This is just... Yeah, counter is still needed in your deck. I think if you're a monocolor deck or if you're mono red, you should be playing either King Vegeta or the Hunt of the Demon God, at least as a one-of. Green has free floodgates. Every single color in the game has a free counter attack, and this will just let you answer it for 1, and it can just win you games off its own. Granted, you don't always use this, and it only works when they're tapped out, but I think this is just kind of a staple card moving forward.
Yeah. Counter is always good anyway, is it?
Yeah, it's always very good.
Ooh, the
Purunga. This card's insane. Shout out to Benny. He actually packed this for me at pre-release, so that was kind of hype. Thank you. But what Purunga does, so it comes out, if you have 3 energy, you can play him for 2. Then at the end of the turn, he leaves, is what it is. And he also can't attack, but he has his active main limit 3, so you can use one of his 3 abilities up to 3 times a turn, like, or a combination, one of each of them, or 2 and 1, whatever, right? Or just the same one 3 times, right? So he either lets you draw a card and make your opponent discard a card. He switches one of your opponent's cards to rest mode, or he does a complete border wipe besides one of your cards and one of your opponent's cards, ignoring barrier. So this card is just the jack of all trades. It doesn't win you the game on its own, but the thing about U7 specifically, there is already a card in your deck that will win you the game on its own, right? This Son Goku here. Like this, the synergy that these 2 cards have, the fact that this is a 3 energy play is just through the roof. Like, you can force your opponent to switch all your opponent's cards to rest mode is huge. Then this is like hard to contest this. You tap them out, Hunter the Demon God, you tap them out, you have Absolute in play. Like, these 3 cards plus the 6 drop just generate so many instant win scenarios against a lot of matchups. And realistically, the only real color that can't that is immune or safe from this instant win scenario is probably blue. But even then, it's still not like ideal. But yeah. And also, if you're in like a game that's kind of 50-50, right, you guys are both like going back and forth a bit, the ability to draw 3 cards and make your opponent discard 3 cards, because majority of the time, people aren't just siding in hand destruction hate against yellow. Technically it's incorrect, but if they know you're playing Purunga, it might be worth a shout just to mitigate that ability. But yeah, Purunga, every game I played Purunga, it overperformed. This card is absolutely insane, especially for 2, and also the card's beautiful as well, I'd say.
That does look really nice. I think it looks nicer than old type.
I'd say so. The only funny thing about the old side is the Dende, and we always have the joke is like my face when you or my opponent plays Purunga into the Dende face. But man, that's the main board. We'll quickly go through the Z deck. The Z deck, I'll do all the stuff that stayed the same, and I'll show you the new stuff. So 1 Omen, 1 of the Victory Kamehameha, and then 4 of the Goku's Kamehameha. I swear I'm the only U7 player card that U7 player that spams this card. I think it's so good. The fact that you can make your leader gain 10k in critical is huge. The removal of a skillless battle card is also huge. I've had games where I played 4 of this card. Like, your opponent's trying to get out of your attacks are already so big, so your attacks in your opponent's hand, and then you can also just be like, my leader, big leader swing with crit out of nowhere. It's very taxing, this card, so I quite enjoyed it for, especially now that Omen is limited to 1. That being said, if Omen wasn't limited to 1, I'd probably run like 4/4, then 2 of some other stuff. Omen to comeback is Senzu Bean for the deck. I hardly went into it, but I think it's fine. And then obviously Victory Kamehameha, Victory Omen, whatever it's called, right? This card, there's a reason why I got limited to 1. The card does too much. It either it deals a free damage to your opponent, or it is a 0 energy final flash. So it's really good.
Yep.
10x Kamehameha. The reason I run this card is for the Final Flash-esque effect, specifically once again to hit Majin Buu Unison. Majin Buu Unison does kind of hard check this deck. It's very difficult to deal with, and I ran this card for it. This card sucked. I didn't play it a single time. I will be cutting it in the future. And now the big buff, the actual underrated big buff this deck got, is access to Z Unisons.
Hey, whoa, this is a collector's foil too. So nice.
Yeah, this foil is very nice. So before, you never were able to play any attackers from your Z deck. Now you have access to a small attacker and a finisher, as well as the Goku has more utility. So yeah, what the Tells does, you cannot actually resolve the first 2 effects in this deck, so you can't actually even do the +2 on this Unison here, which sucks. But then this +0, just give it 10,000 power. The fact that we have a 1 energy, 1 Z energy attacker from our Z deck, that's 15k. Great, it comes up a little bit. Probably gonna change it to 2 of, or 1 more Omen. It's just nice to have the option, which is huge. Yeah. And then 2 of this Goku. I really like this Goku. It costs 2 energy at a minimum. If you play it for 4 energy, it acts as a board wipe. That's huge. If you play it for 4 energy as well, it becomes a finisher, because then you can swing, use the active battle -3, and gain 10,000 in double strike. And then this +0 auto is actually really nice as well. What it does is that when your opponent attacks, you can use this ability whenever, and you just blank one of the battle card skills for the battle. It's just nice to be like, one thing I started doing once I realized against Green Gohan, if I don't open Mutai Ito on my second turn, I'll just play this. And, if I'm going first specifically, right, I'd play this. And they can swing with me with their Vegeta, but I'll just blanket skills, right? Unless they're going to mis-sequence their turn by using, SGR beforehand to deal with this, which is kind of neg for them already. They have to mis-sequence their turn to clear this card and get the critical swing in. But yeah, the fact that it just blanks it for the battle is just enough timing for it to be really good.
Nice.
And yeah, that's the Z deck, guys. I'll quickly run through the side decks. I think it's pretty straightforward. 1 more Baby Ape. This card just felt really good. I'm going to move it to the main. 4 Cooler. Two more Unison hate. I didn't verse any Cooler on the weekend. I still think Cooler's really good. It's a deck, a PTSD deck now for me, so it is what it is. Two Chi-Chi, really good into blue, especially Gogeta, because a lot of the time you can just play this on one, and Gogeta has to actually make the choice of do they clear your one drop D-Magic hate, or do they clear your actual relevant card, because Gogeta struggles so hard to clear this. It's really good into blue. My green package, baby.
Yes.
It is what it is, just the green hate. Green is still very strong. It's green's weird. Like Gohan's definitely a lot weaker after the nerf. Like Gohan was a deck I was considering playing Gohan for this event, but I decided not to because I think Gohan is just not as strong now. I think this is finally the nerf that makes Gohan not like tier 1 anymore. The nerf to the Floodgate, because there was just the deck just got away doing so much free things, but now now you get kind of taxed. I think that Green Goku hasn't been solved yet, but I think once Green Goku's solved, it'll most likely be better than Gohan.
Yeah.
And then even then against Green Goku, actually, you don't really like... It's weird, because you actually just side 4 of this card to handle the 8-drop Gohan, but then this just checks 8-drop Gohan as well. It's kind of weird. I'm not too sure how I feel about this going forward. Definitely, Mutaido hits a lot more things than the hand destruction hit, but hand destruction is an annoying matchup, so it just makes me deck out too fast is the only problem when I side 4 of these in and take out some stuff.
Yes, sir.
Lastly, 2 Golden Frieza. This card is for blue again. Shout out to my cousin Nick, who was playing Tapion. We actually played we only played 2 games of testing of me versus his Tapion, and it was actually very hard. Like, we went 1-1, and it was actually insanely difficult to win that game, so... And because Tapion has barrier removal, which is like actually unheard of in a blue deck, so I'm like sitting like, what the fuck? But I ended up decided to put this in my side deck. I didn't play it at all on the weekend. I think this card's very cuttable. I think unfortunately for what our deck's trying to do, 5 energy is just too slow. So I'm gonna have to try and revisit that matchup because I genuinely do think the Tapion matchup is actually kind of difficult for U7 to win.
Yeah, not many people playing it at the moment. Yeah. So what are your matchups for the day? I believe you went 6-0?
Energy marker, baby.
Nice, and the Vegeta energy marker.
Yes.
John's favorite character.
Look, I'll be honest, a lot of the matchups were unfortunately not too notable. I versed at the start of the day, I versed 2 new players, so I versed Pete Powell on Green Broly BR. That was pretty cool. A big thing about that though, I realized partway through the game that the only way I could lose this game is if he was playing Golden Cooler Secret Rare, so I just... one of my turns, I skipped charge, so I couldn't lose to that, which is kind of funny. But that was a good game, regardless though. The energy marker's huge actually, because I just played Gogeta, my Goku for 1. Versus Dean Harper, he was playing Blue Gogeta. I'm sorry, Dean, what I did to you that game, that was kind of cooked. Semi-finals, I versed Blake. Sorry, Blake, I gave him depression, and then. Honestly, the person that stood out the most to me was that Nick from, I think he's from Geelong. He actually played it insanely well. I think if he had a bit more experience, he actually probably would have beaten me, to be completely honest. I think he played that insanely well. But, that was my matchups.
Yeah, very nice. Alrighty. Any shout-outs you'd like to give as well?
I'll just shout out to the Collectors Company boys, always helping me grind, whatnot. Huge shout out to Nick Pasty, my cousin. Man, overperformed on the weekend. Got top 6, got his bursting rage. I wish he versed me in finals. I wish he beat me in finals. That would be the hypest storyline. But just shout out to the boys for playing, and that's pretty much it. Just keep playing cards.
Alrighty, thank you all for watching. So now we're gonna wait for the May online now, and we'll see if John can win another one.
Look, come on, OC, come on, please beat me.
Don't worry, I'll be playing that one. For those that don't know, I'm John's Kryptonite, so hopefully I can take him out. That will be my pleasure. But if not, come on, guys, let's go.
Little fun fact for OC players: there's actually one person in the entire region I have not beaten a single time at the tournament. So I'm not going to say who it is, but I think if you know this player, comment his name in the comments.
All right, you guys heard it there. All right. Until next time, catches. Peace.